Every day, millions of people walk into banks, swipe cards, tap phones, withdraw cash, and transfer money. And almost nobody asks the obvious question: how do banks not run out of cash? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If everyone tried to take their money out today, no major bank on earth could survive tomorrow. And yet, banks don't collapse every morning. Not because they're rich, not because they're honest, but because of one simple trick. A system so normal that we stopped noticing it. A system that quietly holds the entire financial world together. Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. Imagine a village with 100 people. Each person deposits $1,000 into the village bank. The bank now shows balances totaling $100,000. But here's the twist. The bank does not keep $100,000 in a vault. It keeps maybe $5,000 to $10,000 in actual cash. The rest? Gone. Lent out. Invested. Recycled. If that sounds dangerous, it's because it is. This is called fractional banking. But don't worry about the name. Just remember the idea. Banks are not storage lockers. They are circulation machines. Your money is not waiting for you. It's constantly moving. So why doesn't this blow up instantly? Because of a simple human behavior. People don't all ask for their money at the same time. Banks are built on that assumption. Statistically, only a small percentage of customers need cash on any given day. Some withdraw, some deposit, most do nothing. The bank balances inflows and outflows. As long as withdrawals stay normal, the system survives. This is the first layer of the trick. Probability. Not trust. Not morality. Math. But what happens when fear enters the room? When people hear rumors, when headlines scream danger, when confidence cracks? Suddenly, everyone wants their money now, and the bank doesn't have it. This is called a bank run, and once it starts, it feeds on itself. People don't withdraw because the bank is broken. The bank breaks because people withdraw. So how do banks stop panic before it spreads? This is where the real trick begins. Banks are backed by something bigger than themselves, a central authority, the central bank. Think of it like a giant emergency reservoir. When regular banks are short on cash, they don't collapse immediately. They borrow. Not from people, from the central bank. This borrowing window exists solely for one reason: to make sure banks never publicly look empty. Because the system doesn't die from lack of money, it dies from lack of confidence. Here's the part most people don't realize. When a bank borrows from the central bank, new money is created. Not printed, not trucked in, created digitally, with a keystroke. This means banks don't need to find cash in emergencies. They summon it, temporarily, quietly, behind closed doors. You never see it happen, and that's intentional. But wait, if banks can just borrow unlimited money, what stops abuse? Rules, collateral. Banks must hand over assets to borrow cash. Government bonds, high-quality loans, safe investments. The central bank isn't giving free money. It's lending against promises. Promises that are assumed to be solid. As long as those promises are trusted, the system holds. Now, let's make this even simpler. Banks survive because people don't panic daily, withdrawals are predictable, central banks act as emergency cash machines, confidence is protected at all costs. Notice something? None of these are about actual money. They're about behavior, expectations, belief. There's another invisible shield protecting banks: deposit guarantees. Governments promise that if your bank fails, you'll still get your money back, up to a limit. This promise does one crucial thing. It stops you from panicking. Even if the bank looks shaky, you think, my money is insured, so you don't rush to withdraw. And because you don't rush, the bank survives. The promise prevents the problem. This is why governments step in fast during banking crises, not to save banks, to save confidence. Because once trust collapses, no amount of money is enough. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Banks don't stay alive because they're liquid. They stay alive because panic is rare. The system works not because it's strong, but because it's calm. Now here's the most important part. This simple trick doesn't eliminate risk, it moves it from banks to central banks to governments to society. When banks fail, losses don't disappear, they get absorbed upward by institutions that can print money, by taxpayers through inflation, by future generations through debt. The system survives, the cost is delayed. So the next time you see a bank branch, understand this: that building is not full of your money, it's full of trust. Trust that people won't panic, trust that the government will step in, trust that tomorrow looks like yesterday. As long as that trust holds, banks never run out of cash. The moment it breaks, no vault is big enough. And that's the simple trick holding the modern financial world together.